Who am I really? That's a question that many of us fail to ever ask ourselves is who am I really? What we end up doing is living a life of hypocrisy. Now, we don't understand a lot of times what true hypocrisy is. It's not saying one thing and doing another or believing another. Hypocrisy and the hypocrisy really was a person who played to the crowd. They tried to do things in order to get a certain response from the crowd. That's why you get the drama mask of the happy and sad. You know, some of us people who grew up certain ways thinking to say laugh not cry later, but it's actually the drama mask is where you get the hypocrisy for wear and say certain lines to get a certain reaction from the crowd. And many of us, that's what our lives have become. And sometimes it takes a good example of that before I say what it takes is the woman at the well. The woman at the well, she was a good example of what a hypocrite sometimes does or a chameleon. Because at first she was trying to flirt with Jesus. And then all of a sudden when she realizes that he's a religious man, the conversation shifts to religious tones. But the thing about Christ and what got her attention is that he could see through that and knew who she really was. We have to stop living a life of smoke and mirrors. It took the prodigal son losing everything to come to his senses, or like the King James says, come to himself. But what we have to begin is be real with ourselves. Be real with who we are. Because there's two us's that we have. We have us that we were born with, and then we have the us that we're born to be. And many times if we don't know who we are, we can't really be either. Now I get it. A lot of times we've grown up in places to where being you wasn't a safe space. But the thing about it is, the real you is who God wants. The real you is who God saves. There's a you that God has placed for the foundation of the world. And that's us that we need to be. We have to get back centered to that point. We can't keep living in deep cover. We have to learn to get rid of the smoke and mirrors and be able to answer the question, who am I really? Until next time, repeat after me, say, I am what God says I am. I can do what God says I can do. I believe what God's word says about me. I'm a world changed through the blood of Jesus Christ. The next time, God bless you. I thank you for your financial support at Dollar Sign Integrity Church International. I thank you for your watching me, sharing everything that God says. I believe, and let's continue to have I am faith. Have a blessed day.